Welcome back, MTG Burgeoning community and YouTube viewing audience. If you are part of the latter and wish to join the former, click that subscribe button now, and in so doing, you become eligible for all kinds of sweet reward series. In today's Top 10s Day Wednesday video, we are going to examine 10 commanders around whom I want to build a commander deck. Welcome back, MTG Burgeoning fans. Here we are again with another Owning It Top 10s Day Wednesday. And in today's video, we're going to roll out 10 different generals and the kind of commander deck I want to build around them. So let's get right to it with number 10. And this is coming straight from Commander 2017. And that is Arabo, Roar of the Wild. This is a 5/5 legendary cat avatar, 3 in a Selesnya. It's got the Eminence mechanic, which is a very controversial but very powerful mechanic. And for Arabo, it reads, at the beginning of combat on our turn, if Arabo, War of the World, is in the command zone or on the battlefield, another target cat we control gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Whenever another cat we control attacks, we may pay 1 and a Selesnya, and if we do, it gains trample and gets +X/+X till end of turn, where X is its power. So, very simply, I would just want to make a Selesnya cat tribal deck, and I want to go so far that I want to put Jaheira, the companion from the Ikoria. I would put that right alongside Arabo in the companion zone and have Arabo in the command zone. Having a cat general right there, in addition to having Arabo and its Eminence mechanic, Selesnya cat tribal with Arabo as the general. Oh, I definitely want to make that deck. All right, number 9, and our first 5-color commander, we have Horde of Notions. So a white, a blue, a black, a red, and a green. This legendary elemental is a 5/5 vigilant, trampling, hasty elemental. And for white, blue, black, red, and green, we may play target elemental card from our graveyard without paying its mana cost. So this has elemental tribal, 5 colors written all over it. Put in probably every single evoke elemental creature there is, play them from our hand with their evoke cost, get them into the graveyard, bring them back with Horde of Notions, and just do all kinds of elemental things. So Horde of Notions is number 9. So that's back-to-back tribal decks. So let's step away from the tribal theme for a moment, and let's go monocolor. Let's go mono red. Let's go to Throne of Eldraine, and let's talk about Torbrand, Thane of Redfell. 1 and triple red, this legendary dwarf noble is a 2/4, and if a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage +2 instead. So with this deck, it's all about burn, baby. It's all about fiery emancipation, Furnace of Wrath. What am I missing here? Anything that can add more damage, like a what am I thinking of here? What is the Jaya? Jaya adds damage to red sources. Torbrand adds 2 to any red source. Just all red. Just a blistering burn deck with hasty creatures and dragons and fiery emancipations, and just want to go crazy with that deck. All right, so moving back to our top 10 here, number 7, we're going to go Gruul, and we're going to go Rurik Thar, the Unbowed. It's a 6/6 Ogre Warrior, Vigilance Reach. Rurik Thar, the Unbowed, attacks each turn if able, and whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, Rurik Thar deals 6 damage to that player. I want to build a Rurik Thar deck. I want it to be a challenge. I want every single card other than lands to be creatures in that deck. I want no non-creature spells. I want everything to be a creature so that Rurik Thar never deals damage to us. I want to make that deck. I want to have a challenging deck building process with Rurik Thar. Nothing but creatures in a Gruul deck. I think we could do that, baby. All right. Commander number 6. We have Gavi Nest Warden. 2 and a Jeskai, which is blue, red, and white. It's a 2/5 legendary human shaman, and we may pay 0 rather than pay the cycling cost of the first card we cycle each turn. And whenever we draw our second card each turn, we create a 2/2 red and white dinosaur cat creature token. So this one's pretty straightforward. You get Gavi Nest Warden, and just tons and tons of cycling cards. Maybe some things that can help accentuate the tokens that we'll make, but just Gavi Nest and just dozens and dozens of cycling cards. So those are the bottom 5. Now we're moving to the top 5, and that number 5 is going to be... You knew we had to go to Avacyn Restored at least once in this video, so here we are with Bruna, Light of Alabaster. 3 double white and a blue. She's a 5/5 legendary angel, and just breathtaking. I'm sorry, folks. I'm usually not one to, definitively look and for a foil to put out there, but this is one of my all-time favorite foils. Just look at how she glistens in that artwork. Look at that. That's just... To purposely seek out a foil is definitely not a burgeoning style, but admittedly, I did that with Bruna because this is probably one, if not the best foils I have. All right, so 5/5 Flying Vigilance. When Bruna, Light of Alabaster, attacks or blocks, we may attach to it any number of auras on the battlefield, and we may put onto the battlefield attached to her any number of aura cards that could enchant her from our graveyard and or hand. So this is just all auras. Definitely build an enchantment-themed deck. An Azorius enchantment deck with Bruna as the pilot could be very, very powerful. Make sure that we have the Eldrazi Conscription in there as one of our game enders. And even go as far as to put Enchanted Evening in there, turning all of our opponents' permanents into enchantments, and then bringing some, opponent-wide enchantment removal. Yeah, that sounds pretty sweet. Bruna, Light of Alabaster. All right, number 4, Cathril Aspect Warper. 2 and an Abzan for a 3/3 legendary nightmare insect. Yeah, that thing looks human. Come on now. All right, a 3/3 legendary nightmare insect. When Cathril Aspect Warper enters the battlefield, put a flying counter on any creature you control if a creature card in your graveyard has flying. Repeat this process for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. Then put a +1/+1 counter on Cathril for each counter put on a creature this way. So I just want to go keyword mechanics across as many creatures as I can possibly get. Avacyn Angel of Hope, Spirit of the Night. Just get so many creatures with so many keywords, load them into the library, then get a bunch of spells that can help get cards from our library into our graveyard, maybe include some living dots and things like that. That's how I would build a Cathril Aspect Warper Abzan commander deck. All right, and going to our second monocolored deck, and the last one to appear in this top 10, we go back to Throne of Eldraine for Sir Conrad the Grim. 3 and double black. Come on, camera, get in the game. What the? Come on. There we go. 3 and double black. It's a 5/4 legendary human knight. And whenever another creature dies, or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Sir Conrad the Grim deals 1 damage to each opponent. It's so important to make that distinction that it's each opponent and not target opponent. We dance right around hexproof when it's each opponent. Plus, it makes the game and our end game a lot quicker if it deals it to each opponent as opposed to us picking a target every time. Best thing about Sir Conrad the Grim, it has a built-in 1 and a black. Each player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. I just want to go all mill, just straight mill with Sir Conrad the Grim. Get a bunch of cards from everyone's library right into the graveyard. Have Sir Conrad just deal damage. All right, we are at our top 2. Number 2 is the Locust God. 4 and an is it? It's a 4/4 legendary god, has flying. Whenever we draw a card, create a 1/1 blue and red insect creature token with flying and haste. We can tap 2 blue and a red, draw a card, then discard a card. And when the Locust God dies, we return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. That's very powerful to have that built-in, you can't destroy me clause. You better do something to exile or bounce me to my hand. Because even if you put it into my hand, I'm just going to cast it again. The best chance you have is exiling it to put it into the command zone. What I would do with Locust God is just fill the deck with cantrip spells, all kinds of draw, get those locusts into play, and any other spells that, you know, reward for drawing cards, like all of the spells from Throne of Eldraine, where they said, you know, whenever you draw your second card each turn, include a bunch of planeswalkers like the Royal Scions and Jaces that get cards into your hand. That's how I would build the Locust God. Just win with a swarm of locusts. Who doesn't want to do that? Who doesn't want to win a game of Commander by swarming their opponents with locusts? I don't want to live in a world that no one wants to do that. All right, so 9 down, 1 last commander to go. Who is the number 1 commander I want to build a deck? That would be Lord Windgrace. 2 and Juned, which is black, red, and green. It's a planeswalker. I currently in my catalog do not have a commander deck that's helmed by a planeswalker commander. However, Lord Windgrace can be our commander. He enters the battlefield with 5 loyalty counters. We can +2 him to discard a card, then draw a card. If a land card is discarded this way, draw an additional card. -3, we can return up to 2 target land cards from our graveyard to the battlefield. Notice 2 target lands, not basics, any lands. Fetch lands. -11 for his ultimate, we can destroy up to 6 target non-land permanents, then create 6 2/2 green cat warrior creature tokens with Forest Walk. What I want to do with Lord Windgrace is I want to carve out about half the deck, all lands, as close to a singleton as possible. Probably not going to happen because we're only in 3 colors, so there most likely will be some multiples of basics. But I want to have fetch lands in there. I want to have the Prismatic Vista, the Fabled Passages, exotic, or not exotic, Terramorphic Expanse, Evolving Wilds, and then I just want to load it up with all cards that have to do with lands entering the battlefield, landfall, cards that trigger other cards when they go to the graveyard. I just want to make a crazy Juned landfall lands matter deck, and I want Lord Windgrace to be that pilot. Whoa! Don't fall like that. Come on, Lord Windgrace. All right, there we go. Okay, you're okay. You're okay, buddy. And that's the number 1 commander I want to build a deck around and how I would do it. And folks, this was another Top 10s Day Wednesday video. This is MTG Burgeoning. You go forth and you enjoy your day.